You know, when my friend got out, he was in special ops, and not only was he special ops, he was also Delta unit for 8 years, same as you, and he went all over. And my orders at the time was to go to Vicenza, Italy. I was going to go to SEER school. I was already aerosol. I was going to airborne. I was going to go DLI to tighten up my language because I spoke 5 languages at the time. And I was going to go Vicenza, and then from there, you know, light it up and eventually go into, you know, choose to go Delta. I went a different direction. He chose that route. He took the orders. He went in. When he retired after 20 years, I said, let's meet up. We hadn't seen each other for like 15 years. I thought he was dead, quite frankly. I was trying to find him everywhere. I couldn't find him anywhere, not on Facebook, not on social, nowhere. He appeared out of nowhere on social. We got connected. And this is my guy. This is the guy that you hung out with every day for 2.5 years. So I said, let's meet up. So we meet up in Madrid. So let's go watch, you know, we'll go to El Clasico. Ronaldo was playing Messi. I said, let's meet up in Madrid. He didn't come to the game, but he met me at Madrid. I said, how you doing? And very traumatic. This guy wasn't this kind of a traumatic guy. He was a fun guy to be around. He was not in a good place at all. For what? I said, what happened? What have you seen? Can't talk about it. He had a drink. Then he had a second drink, 3 drinks. He still wouldn't talk about it, some of the stuff that he had seen. But he was very, very emotional. He would call me regularly saying, Pat, I don't know how to deal with this stuff right now. It took about a couple years for him to disconnect from that life. How long did it take you after your 23-year stint that you had to live a normal life? I know you're still married, I think, right? 20 plus years you guys were married.
Yes.
It's pretty crazy to know that you lived that life and you're still married for 20 plus years. How long did it take you after that life to actually accept a civilian life?
3 years that I realized that I don't have to have my bags packed and watching the news. 3 years. 3 years of me not having to watch current events and worry about me being deployed. 6 years before I found calmness of the mind.
6 years. Do you ever itch the desire? You know how athletes retire, they want to go back. You know how the movie Hurt Locker, he got out, he couldn't wait to get back. These stories where it's like, man, Chris Kyle, I got to get back, man. I don't feel like the civilian life is for me. And the wife is trying to tell you, listen, relax, let's enjoy it. Let's have a life together. Do you have that itch like, dude, I want to go to this freaking place because I know I can bring some value? Is that itch there to want to get deployed and get into the mix, or no?
I always want to help people. And I guess that's my path as a Ronin now, is I help people. My time overseas helping people, staying in villages and all that, I just can't physically do that anymore, you know, but I always want to help people. Was it hard to let go of the gunfights and all that? The adrenaline is very, there's no drug out there like the adrenaline like that, at that level of a gunfight, right? So people have a hard time disconnecting. For me, I worked hard after my time in service to disconnect, and I do it through meditation and everything else. So I purposely walked down a path of peace. You know, when I got out, not a lot of people do that.
No, and especially not in your world, because it's typically drugs, alcohol, you know, some crazy shit that they end up doing when they've seen that kind of life. Because as much as you're glad you're out, somehow your body's, that's your norm. That's your normal life that you've had. So it's very hard to adjust from that pacing to this thing being this slow. It's going to drive you insane. Most people, it's going to drive them insane.
Yeah, you know, what's real funny, Patrick, when I got out, I went into the entertainment kind of world really fast. They found me really fast because, you know, I'm a knife fighter, I'm a martial artist, I'm a gunfighter. So it appeals to Hollywood, you know. So they reached out to me. They wanted me to be on shows. On Call of Duty now. So it's really like a different mindset now. You know what I mean? I have to let it go sometimes. You know, like sometimes when I walk in, I'm like, okay, this is a pull door, this is a solid core door, this is my exit route, this is how many pace. I had to let those things go.
Are you able to take orders from people that are not, you know, I mean, imagine taking direction from somebody that's like, you know, 35 years old, 120 pounds, and they're telling you what to do, and you're just sitting there like, man, I could take your eyeballs with my pinky.
No, I don't think that way. I don't think that way. When I look at people,
he's asking you because he's struggling. Because he wants to.
Yeah,
like,
that's not how my brain works. You know, guys, how my brain works. How my brain works is 4:30 in the morning. I'm embracing God. I'm showing gratitude to life, and the day. Like that's who I am today. You're like, you know, I never wanted that to be that violent. in my career. I did it for compassion. I did it to free the enslaved. And as soon as that was over for me, what's my next purpose? My next purpose is to mold Americans to law enforcement is having a hard time right now, with their image and their tactics. And that's why I'm teaching. I'm teaching law-abiding citizens to protect themselves, across America. So along with that I had to let go of that hate. You can't be who you are if you hold on to hate, right?
I don't think it's about holding on to hate. I think it's maybe more addiction to power. When you're talking about guys that come out and they're getting violent, it's because they can, because somebody tells them something that they don't want to hear, and they're like, "You don't get to tell me. You don't outrake me. I'm going to show you." Well, and 20 years of imposing your will on other people, you don't just get to turn that off.
No, and like I say, 3 years. I was talking to one of my friends is, when you're in the special forces, when I kick open that door, when I come in, you're going to feel an energy. Right, so I don't want that energy when I live in civilian life, right? So I have to cut it off. And a lot of guys can't cut it off.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.